Hello, I'm Jackie. I have to start over again. Oh, maybe I won't. Hi. I'm Jackie. We are all hooking in good company. It's been such a long time. I said, okay, it's now or not now. And I just had time to put a little lipstick on. I'm still wearing this thing for whoever saw my last story. I'm still waiting to hear some test results, but I really don't want to talk about all that whole story because I have been a complete nervous wreck for too many weeks now, and I'm bored, and well, I'm crocheting a lot, so that's quite good. So Debbie said from Debbie from Hi Deb, she said I have to make another video. So I said yes I do, and so here I am. And I have even her questions for the traditions, which of course I have no traditions because I live in the land of traditions, so of course I don't have my own. But how we doing? Are we all okay? It's like it's December 5th. Something is happening today. Sandy goes to the hospital today. Something else happens today. Well, Jan is home, so maybe he's going to be walking around a little bit here and there. So let's. I really been, and I'm coughing. I've been crocheting a bunch of things, and I no order. And if I did start doing some things on Instagram, so if you remember, we just start, and it's not going to be objects, finished objects, half finished objects, whips or whatever. If you remember, I had that planet Earth thing in these colors. These aren't even all the colors. I ripped the whole thing out. It was a ball this big, very, very big. And I made a very beautiful blanket. And it is on Instagram, and I had to give it today because, like I told you last time, it was from my accountant and a good friend. I made a beautiful drunken granny Afghan with a very nice front post back post border on all four sides. I used a little bit of crystal, how you count, so it lays perfectly flat, and it came out beautiful. And he came back today, and he said the whole night he sat all snuggled up in this blanket. So it really came out beautiful. And sorry, I gave it yesterday. I should have made this podcast yesterday. So, sorry. I had a bunch, because I told you also, I mentioned that I am trying to use up everything here. I had a bunch from Lovecraft of cotton. It's nice cotton if you're, talking about cottons. That's paint box, cotton DK. I had no clue what to do with it. It was very thin, and I said, come on, just make stuff out of it. So, this is what we got out of it. First, I decided I was just going to start crocheting a placemat because I need placemats. So it's a very simple C2C, and I made a placemat, and I said, all right, whatever color comes out, it's going to be the two colors because this is 25 squares by 36 squares. This one came too small, you can see. And it's a little bit flag-like, but in a kitchen it will work. So then I took the rest of the green, and I just kept on going, and I added another bunch of colors until this one became the right size, which is 25 squares by 30 squares. And it just has there's a very neat, very nice, very absolutely, just as long as it's pretty for a placemat, that you can cover the table instead of a tablecloth. And I quite like that little accident happened. So then I took the rest of this one because it didn't finish a line, and I continued to another one. And then this is the third one that's coming up. And I will just keep on doing that until I'm using a very small hook. It goes fast. It's C2C, C to shining C. I offered that to Claudia if she wants to make a pin out of it, but she didn't answer me back. C to shining C, so I will make a pin out of it. So that's what I got done with the placemat thing. That is my now project. Then somebody showed the basic stitch of, I think it was Ross. Hi, Ross. smelling great guy or great smelling guy or something. And he was showing, I had just put in a very nice big order to Lion Brand. After I swore, no more yarn. I put 3 orders in. One because of Blossom Crochet, and she said I had to have this yarn, so I bought. One to Lion Brand because it was November 45% off everything. And then another one from Cherry Heart Crochet, who I had to get all of a sudden that Shapier's stonewash to make a hexagon blanket. So I'm going to get back to Holland. It's going to be another chaos of hiding stuff with neighbor number one running and tucking. Okay, they had this basic stitch yarn, and I said, oh, I can buy that here in the shop that sells thick and thin. They still only have thick and thin, but at least they have yarn. So I invented, I think I invented a new cowl. Crystal from Bag Day will love this because all of this yarn is like chunky 4. It's not chunky 5, but it's chunky 4. And it's variegated. It's this, and I don't know if it pulls or not because I haven't done it. So what you have, oh, yeah, okay, take these off. So I made a hat with just some strings hanging off the top. But then what I did is I don't like cowls, so I made a cowl with a collar. Let me show you this thing. So what you have to live in Canada. You can't live in the desert. So I only sewed it up halfway, and I turned this down, and it's very warm. Actually, I could wear it instead of this crazy thing that I'm wearing. And if you want it up, then you then you just put it up, and you have it, your coat, and you can. But if you go in the shop and you want it on, you can just open it up and peel it down, and all you do is you don't sew it up, and then of course you put a little trim around it so that it doesn't completely fall apart. Yeah, so much from combing my hair for you ladies and gents, of course. Okay, then I got into a hat thing. So I made a very simple, nice beanie. And do you know what I'm going to do with this beanie? And this is going to be my stitch marker beanie. So all of the stitch markers that I get and all of the stitch markers that I buy are going on this beanie, and I will have a hat of all the stitch markers, and then wherever I go, and I meet somebody, it's clear that I'm a stitch marker collector. So we have the one hat. Then I have this, which I'm going to make the same thing I talked about last time, half the scarf one color and half the scarf the other color. And so when you have this on the top and half the scarf black and half the scarf this green, and then you wrap it around, you'll have a really nice color story. But I'm not going to do it in green yet. This is just for the hospitals. I was just trying out some hats. So that's another one. And then this is another hat. It's just a made-up thing of double crochets and front posting. And this is kind of a thing. It's single balls of yarn that I found somewhere. Then if you remember, do you remember that glorious granny that I was completely hated and I didn't know what to do with? Well, I frogged it, I ripped it out. There must be a chat in Ravelry for ripping out and remaking. So from that whole thing, I ripped it out, got another ball that was like this big, and from it I made a regular beanie, and then I made, I think it's also the Drunken Granny. I got into the Drunken Granny, and that's a nice big cowl that, it's just a nice big cowl for a nice cold person. And I thought maybe also this will go to the hospital. But I really couldn't. I hate having terrible whips that are just not going anywhere. So I ripped, it's 4 balls of yarn, this story here. Bien. Next, I did make something that's not so nice. I love the stitch. It's the V stitch, and I had one ball of pop, Bernat pop, in gray, and I said, let me just make a little shawl for somebody. And it's not. It doesn't. I think the V stitch was the wrong stitch. It's a little bit thin. Maybe it's for, again, another 15-year-old boy. I gotta go searching for 15-year-old boys. Copa, don't worry, I'm not searching for 15-year-old boys. Don't worry. Anyway, 15-year-old boys are getting married in my parts. So, what else? Another hat is laying here, excuse me. That's another one, similar to that. Double crochet and some front post, back post. That's the nice blue. That's my Christmas blue. It really doesn't look good with any other color but itself. So that's another hat I made. I'm busy. When you do nothing, you get busy. Remember, I'm coming back to all the things I forgot the last time. Do you remember that I showed you those 2 balls of velvet, and I had 6 colors, so I had 2 balls of everything. I figured something nice to do out of it. And again, it's a cowl. And this is for teenage, I think it has an inside and an outside. Teenage girls, I think, would kind of like this, or elegant ladies. But teenage girls are elegant ladies. So, that's the cowl. And because I don't like to have anything left over, can we see this? Do I have to tip you down a bit? Lower this whole thing, sorry if I'm making anybody uncomfortable or ill at ease. So this just is what was left. I put a little thing, can you see it? And that's 2 balls of that velvet stuff. And it's, you can also, because it's a big hook and it's a soft velvet, so it's not tight and hard, the fabric is very nice. You can really just like bunch it up. And then if you don't want to bunch it up, you can just have with this like tassel hanging over your, like a little pasty. You can have it, it's nice. So I can make 6 of these for women presents or stuff like that. Came out nice, I think. And no, I don't even know what stitch it is, you know. Maybe it's I think it's this crystal Bangladesh stitch that I also love. Well, if anybody can tell me, it's very hard to see. I didn't even check the light. I'm sorry, I'm a bit lazy of late. I made that. Then, there's a lot of stuff. There's another hat. No order. You see, I'm completely unorganized. This is half Bangladesh and half me, because again, I forgot that. Didn't I show you this? Didn't I show you all of these? Oh dear, I hope not. Okay, then I made this I forgot to show you. I made this. So these pom-poms come from, I found some, on YouTube a lady was doing them. So these are pom-poms. The whole thing is 1 row double crochet and then 1 row, you know, double crochet, skip 1, chain 1, double crochet. And it's several color repeats. And it's quite big. And it's just a nice, cozy, freezing shawl. Like that. And I think I will give that to my assistant's mother for Christmas, because she's kind of thin and a bit cold, and she will use it. I don't know if I love it or not. I like the colors, and I love the stitch. Big hook, good fabric. Big hook, good fabric. Yeah, so the pile is quite enormous now. Then, do you remember this? I think I said, if you remember this, I got this giant thing of wool of 800 meters, and I said, okay, if I make it, it'll be big. Well, it's only half big, because it's very wide. It's very, I don't know what you can see. It's not a blanket. Actually, it's half of a very wide shawl. You see? Sorry. I should rip it out and make it narrower. So you can't use it like that because it's no size. So a friend of mine, one of the teachers here, she went back to Holland. I said, you have to send me back another ball. So that's the other half of it. You know, this is Shapley's yarn. It's Shapley's yarn called Hannah, and it's 875 meters. It's a lot of yarn. But I think I made it too wide. I really think I have to rip the whole 875 meters out and do the exact same thing, only, oh God, I think it's a meter wide, this thing, which is, I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. I really don't know what I'm doing. But I'm doing it. So it's either this will have to be ripped or it will be a really gigantic stole, or maybe it would even be like a lay on the couch, I'm cold blanket, perhaps. That's the stuff. That's the stuff that I have. I'm looking down to see, for everybody that I comment to, I'm sorry, very sorry about the typos, but you have to understand when I'm watching all of the podcasts the most and how I'm watching them. So I have a small laptop next to my bed on a little table, and so go in bed, and everybody says goodnight, turn the lights out, So I'm laying on my side, and I'm, like that, and I'm watching the YouTubes. So when I'm typing, I'm typing on my side from my bed with my hands out like this, and I'm typing blind. So and without glasses, because you don't go to bed with glasses in case you fall asleep. So sometimes I look at them, I said, they must think like I'm ridiculous, stupid or something. So I'm really sorry for people who are getting typos, but it is because of the way I'm typing from the side in bed like this, like saying very nice, and it comes out. Sometimes I look at it, I say, oh dear, however will they? I think you can figure it out, but sometimes it's a little bit embarrassing when I read it back. That was the typo story. We are leaving here December 15th, and then I will be a month and something, way over a month. Oh no, I will be 2 months in Holland, and I have all my envelopes ready to mail out, lots of things to mail out. I'm doing the chocolate swap with Rose, and Rose is lucky because nothing is like Dutch chocolate. So I'm getting very excited to buy Dutch chocolate for her, and possibly me, as if I need it. And if anybody else is curious, I would trade chocolate for things that I can't get. I'm looking for mandala roving yarn, that stuff that Crystal from Bagaudet was using. The only place you can get it is Joanne, and Joanne's doesn't ship international, so the brown one, and there's a green one, and when I get to the States, I guess that's... Then there's other things. I don't know if I should keep on going. We're at 20 minutes now. Maybe I just make another video and do this tag for the traditions, because I have a little text to read about the little town of Bethlehem, which, as you know, is down the road. And I'm looking for one thing, maybe if anybody knows. I bought myself an advent calendar. It's 24 days of 20 grams, and from Thread and Needle, I think it's called. And I will only see it when I get back on December 15th, of course. But I'm sure that there is another one on sale now, because I want another one. Just because it doesn't have to be advent, it's just like 24 20-gram minis. So if anybody has a clue, I looked on Etsy and they're like gone or out, or out to lunch, I don't know. I wish I had something educational to share with you, but I don't. Okay, everybody be cool, stay in good company, make pretty things. Cards are going out. I'm gonna go make this tradition video right now. Hi, really hi to everybody. I have like 300 something subscribers, so hey to all of you. I never even said hi to you officially. I know I've seen some names go by, but really hi, and I hope you're watching. And okay, that's it. Hi everybody, subscribers, non-subscribers, passers-by, all of you. Off.